So today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It's first chapter, 15th verse. So Vrikodara, Bhimasena is advertised as a voracious eater, but also he can perform Herculean tasks. So he eats voraciously, also gives a service also into Herculean tasks. Just we eat voraciously and we cannot give any service, then that is not good, right? You must eat sumptuously and give service also accordingly. If one is given sufficient food to his belly, he can carry more burden on his shoulders, on the back. So here it's mentioned as Bhima Karma. Bhima's activities are Herculean. He could perform very, very difficult tasks. He eats voraciously and also can perform Herculean tasks. Everyone is named here by his task, you see. The first name is Krishna. Krishna is named as Rishikesha. Rishikesha. Rishikesha means one who is the master of senses. And Krishna is the master of senses, Govinda. Go means, one meaning of go in Sanskrit is senses. Means who gives pleasure to the senses. Krishna got many, many, many names, thousands and thousands of names. Among those names, Krishna, the name Krishna is a most important chief name is Krishna, Mukhya. That is mentioned in the Vedic scriptures. Many times people with poor fund of knowledge communicate and say that God has no name. Well, that is right also. God has no specific name per se, but he has all names belongs to him. He doesn't have any fixed name. His names are there according to his different activities. Just like his name is Revatinandan, because he accepted Devaki as his mother. So he's called Revatinandan. Similarly, he's called Nandanandana. Nandanandana, Yashodanandana, Vrajendranandana, in relationship with Nanda Maharaja, Yashodama, the foster father of foster parents, right? Foster father and mother of Krishna. Nandanandana, Yashodananda. Similarly, he is sometimes named Parthasarathi because he acted as a chariot of Arjuna, chariot driver of Arjuna. Arjuna's name is Partha. His mother's name is Pruta, Kunti. That's a Kunti's name. From Pruta's name, he became Partha. From his father's name, he became Pandu. I mean, his father's name is Pandu. From his father's name, he became Pandava. So in this way, anyone, big personality, sometimes anyone for that matter, they should tally their name. Name should tally with their activities. This nomenclature in Vedic civilization, these are the names used to be given. According to Vedic civilization is concerned, after the birth of the child, there is something called a name-giving ceremony, right? What kind of name to be given to the child? They usually calculate the astronomical situation, calculate the child's astronomical position, and then they decide what kind of name should be given to the child. Because the name should carry some meaning of the activities of his life, right? So Krishna is named here as Rishikesha. Rishikesha, Krishna. The 5th chapter, it is very nicely described. He gives direction to everyone. And Rishikesha means actually, Rishika means senses. Kesha or Kesha means Rishikesha. Kesha, if you divide that word in Sanskrit, Rishi, Kesha. Rishikesha. Rishika means senses. Kesha means a controller or master. He is a master of all this, everybody's senses. And is situated in everybody's heart. Being situated in everybody's heart, Sarvasvachakam Pradisannimishto Mattha Smrti Gnanam Apohanam Cha. Sarvasvachakam Pradisannimishto. In chapter 15th verse, it explains it. Krishna says, I'm sitting in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. We talk about Vedic sciences, it is mentioned. There's a 3 stages. Realization of absolute truth are in 3 features. Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Vadanti tat tattva vidas. Tattvam yad jnanam advayam. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti shabdayate. It's mentioned, this verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd verse, 2nd chapter, 11th verse. Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. The same object. So Brahman realization is impersonal realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada gives an example which is given in the scriptures itself. Like sun, there's a sun globe, sun globe and sunshine. They are one and the same. But the sunshine realization of sunshine is not realization of the sun globe. Our realization of a sun globe is not same as realizing the sun god who is within the sun globe. Vivaswan. Name of the sun is Vivaswan. The present predominating deity in the sun planet, the sun god, his name is Vivaswan. And his son's name is Manu. Because this Manu is son of the Vivaswan, sun god. Manu's name is Vaivasvata Manu. Actually, in the age where we are living right now, this is the age of Vaivasvata Manu. This is a nice example which Srila Prabhupada gives, and it's given in the Vedic scriptures. Prabhupada repeats that example. Sun globe and sunshine. Sun globe and the sun god. Sunshine. In fact, all of them are one. But still, the sun globe is not the person. The sun god is person. See, neither the sun globe nor the sunshine is person. But sun is a person. But all of them considered as one. This is called Achintya Bheda Abheda philosophy. Inconceivably one and different simultaneous. So this is a very important aspect. Brahman realization is also called God realization, right? But Brahman realization is God realization, but it's not a full realization of Supreme Personality of God. It is just a partial realization of the truth. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called as Krishna, is Satchidananda Vigraha. It's mentioned in Brahma Samhita, very first verse of Brahma Samhita, in 5th chapter. He is mentioned as his person. The reason I call it as a first verse, because we don't have availability of Brahma Samhita in full. We only have the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita is available for us. The two is excavated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he appeared on this planet. So in the 5th chapter, first verse, Brahma says that Ishvara Sarvabhutana, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaranaka. He is a person. Krishna is person. Absolute truth is a person. But he is not a person like us. He is Sachidananda Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Vigraha means form. And to have a form, that has to be a person. So Krishna is a person. Bhagavan. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Shabdayate. Three features, realization of absolute truth can happen in three features. The first realization is impersonal realization. That is imperfect realization. That imperfect realization is impersonal Brahman. If one is further advances in realization of truth, he understands Paramatma. That is Paramatma realization. The ultimate realization of absolute truth is Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. These are the three different stages of understanding absolute truth. So when he is addressed here as Krishikesha, it is his Paramatma feature it is addressed. Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, the 60, I think it's 61, verse 61. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridesharjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantarudani mayaya. It's a very popular verse. Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse many a times. Ishvara means the controller. Parameshvara is a Krishna, Supreme Lord Krishna. Ishvara means controller. The supreme controller is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna. He controls every one of us. See, we're also controllers, but our limit of control is our controlling limit is very restricted. We control our family, our society, our business, our factories, our subordinates. There are different kinds of controllers, right? In that sense, everyone is an Ishvara to some extent. But different types of Ishvara are there. Who controls just a family, who controls just a society, and who controls a company or a country, and so on. But the Supreme Ishvara, Supreme Ishvara means somebody who doesn't have any other controller. Supreme means nobody controls him, but he controls everyone. That is called Supreme. Here we're controller, but we're also controlled. We're controller for, let's say, you control your home and you go and work somewhere and somebody else is controlling. Superior than us is controlling. That's why we're not called a supreme controller, but we are just called controllers, Ishvara. But Supreme Ishvara, supreme controller is Krishna. When Krishna was present on this planet, nobody could control Krishna, but he controlled everyone. That's why the great saintly persons like even Brahma, communicating and they decided and they glorifying Krishna, Ishvara Parama Krishna. The supreme controller is Krishna. He controls even Brahma. Adikavaye. Tene Hrudaya Brahma Adikavaye. The Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that Tene Brahma Hrudaya Adikavaye. He, Krishna, instructed Brahma, Shabda Brahma, Vedic knowledge, Hridaya, Hridaya Kaviye, within the heart. That is Hrishikesha. One may argue that, hey, Brahma was the first creature within the universe. So how he could be instructed by somebody else? See, Brahma is, materially speaking, and externally and materially speaking, he is the creator of the universe. That's true. But Brahma himself is created. He is, appeared from the Garbhodakasaya Vishnu. It's not that, when the Brahma is there, nobody else is there. Brahma is there, and Paramatma is there, Brahma, within the heart of Brahma. Rishikesha. Rishikesha means control of all the senses. He's a controller. Sarvasvachaham, he's everywhere in the entire universe. Sarvasva. Sarvasvachaham Hridisannivishtu. I am sitting in everyone's heart. Matta smrti gnanam apoha. Matta smrti gnanam apohanam cha. From me, one remembers and one forgets also. See, the forgetfulness also comes from Krishna. If somebody wants to forget Krishna, Krishna will give you such intelligence that you will forget Krishna forever. Ye damam prapajjante tam stadaiva bhajameham. So we see in the society, the atheist class of people, called demoniac or demon class of people, they want to forget Krishna. So Krishna gives him such intelligence that he can speak of atheism. Volumes of books they write about atheism. But reality is, the person who is talking about atheism is getting his knowledge and intelligence from Krishna. Krishna gives everyone a chance that whatever you wanted to do, you can do. I will give you intelligence. So if you want to become an atheist, then I'll give you intelligence how to become first-class atheist. Like we see in the Puranas, the history, we see that Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kamsa, they're all, atheist at the topmost level. If you want to become a devotee, then I will give you intelligence so that you can become a devotee. Buddhiyogam dadamitam enamam upayantite. I was discussing this shloka in earlier conversation also. Tesham satati yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Whoever is engaged in his service with love and affection, Tesham. Not all, but whoever, it's not that everyone wants to serve Krishna. In fact, everyone in this material everyone in the material will want it to become God. Imitate God, imitation. This with that kind of mentality, people say that why Krishna shall be alone God? I am also God. You are also God. That's all right. You are God, I am God, but we are not supreme God. We should not forget that, right? You may be God, you may be controller for a limited perimeter. You may be God to your wife and home, but when you go to your office, you are not God. There is another manager of yours, your master is God. He directs you to do things, what he wants you to do. Then we have to do it. We may claim that, every one of us, we are God, we are controller. But nobody can claim that, we are the supreme controller. Nobody can say, I'm supreme God. That is not possible. But Krishna can claim that. Only Krishna can claim that. Matta parataram nanyat kinchintidastu dhananjaya. My dear Dhananjaya, there is no more superior personality than me. This is what Krishna says. And he proved it. So we need to understand that God cannot be manufactured. God is God, always God. That is Krishna. When he was there as a month old on the lap of his mother, still he was God. He could actually, when he was a child, he could kill the Putana. So God cannot be manufactured by the so-called meditation or mystic power. See, by doing that yogic practices, you can get some of the insignificant powers of the God. Because when you're doing yoga practices, actually, indirectly you're worshipping yoga, because Krishna is also called Yogeshwara. If you are performing that, Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, gives us some insignificant powers of him to the performer. See, we may think that, some Siddha yogis, in the yogic process, you may attain some siddhas, some powers. But we don't know how powerful is Krishna, how many powers he has. The yogis, they don't know how much powerful Krishna is. When the person gets a little power, he thinks that he has become God. Because, that person don't know how powerful is God, how powerful is Krishna. That's why Shastra says that you may be God in your own atmosphere, in your own jurisdiction. You may think that you are God. And everyone thinks like that. But the supreme God is Krishna. Ekoyam bahuna vidadati kaman. In Upanishads, it's mentioned that God is also a person like me, like you. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam. It's mentioned in Kathopanishad. See, God is also person, but his personality is different from our personality. Is different from your personality, different from my personality. What is the difference? Ekoyo bahunam vidadati kam. He supplies all the necessities of all other personalities. That is the difference. God is supplying us food. This conception is there in all of the scriptures also, even Bible says that. They go to the church and they pray for God, give us our daily bread. That is very nice. Accepting that you are getting all supplies from God. This actually called in Vedic scriptures as Sukriti, Punyavat. If anyone says, oh, what God, we are creating our own food. See, the communists sometimes say that. They are called Dushkritina in Vedic scriptures. Dushkriti means ignorant. Ajnani, rascals. Prabhupada uses Dushkriti, he translates as rascals. But if anyone even goes to church or a temple and asking for something from God, he's considered pious. At least he has approached God. So by approaching God, though he is going there to ask for some material benefit, but one day when he will be advanced, He will not ask anymore. He becomes a devotee of God, devotee of Krishna, and serves Krishna. He will not ask anything from Krishna. Why? When he is in advance, this stage, he thinks that why shall I bother God? He is supplying everyone food that it is required. So why shall I ask him for food? My food is also there. Just let me serve him. That is his higher intelligence. To become a servant of Krishna is the highest intelligence. It's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also. Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajne Sankirtan Praji Ejahanti Sumedasa Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam. Sumedasa Yajne Sankirtan Praji Ejahanti Sumedasa. Sumedasa means highly intelligent people will take up to the process of serving Krishna, devotional service. This is higher intelligence. Why should I go and ask Krishna something material? Why should I ask him for food? He is supplying the food anyway to every living entity, even cats and dogs and ants, everybody getting the food. Even elephant. See, elephant, digestive power of elephant is enormous. And he is supplying that elephant also the food that it is required for it. But we require a little food compared to elephant's food. Does he not supply? Especially when we engage in service of Krishna, doesn't he supply the food required for us? See, in ordinary transactions, ordinary man, if he engages in anybody's service, he becomes a servant of somebody and he gets paid, right? If somebody engages in service of Krishna, service of God, who is a supreme personality and he owns everything, Bhoktaram Yajnatapasa Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, is the master of all creation, material and spiritual. Does he not pay you? This is an analytical and intelligent way of thinking. Why shall I bother God asking about material things? Anyway, he is going to provide. For instance, the bhakti, the devotee in devotional service, he thinks, if God gives me what he wanted to give, Krishna provides me, I'll be satisfied with whatever he's provided. If he likes, he will provide. If he likes me to starve, I will starve. It doesn't matter. But I must engage myself in the service of Krishna. That is, generally the tendency of a devotee. In fact, that is a highest intelligence. Bahunam janmanamante gnanavamam prapajyate. This is a verse in 7th chapter, 19th verse. See, this kind of intelligence comes after many, many births of endeavoring for self-realization. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. When the person comes to surrender to Krishna, become a devotee of Krishna, is after spending many, 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 many lifetimes endeavoring for self-realization and taking up the different processes. And he will not get happiness by adopting any of those processes, and out of frustration, he moves from karmi. Many, many lives he spends to become happy. He will not get happiness, then he becomes gnani, gnana yoga. He practices it many, many, many lifetimes. And he is not happy. He's so frustrated, he takes up the yoga, Ashtanga yoga, and still he will not get the happiness that he's looking for. And finally, he comes to the path of Bhakti Yoga. When does he comes? With the intelligence. Bahunam janmanamante gnanavamam prapajyate. And he understands Vasudeva Sarvamiti is a Mahatma Sudurlava. His intelligence comes after many, many, many births of endeavoring for self-realization. It is not so easy. It doesn't come easily. So we need to understand there is no scarcity of devotees. A devotee is not in need of anything. Or a devotee is not in need of everything. In fact, he doesn't need anything, because why should he bother about his needs? So because even if someone is not a devotee, for that person also, Krishna is providing all the supplies that is needed. If one is a devotee of Krishna, how come Krishna doesn't give what he needs? See, like Srila Prabhupada gives a wonderful example. Like a prison house, there is a government, right? And within the government, there's a prison house. Government supplies the food to the people in the prison. Not that, they are put in the prison house, so they're starving. In fact, in nowadays, certain countries, those who are unemployed, they prefer to be in the prison. Because, without doing any service, they will get a free food. In fact, anybody in this material world is actually a prisoner. Brahmayan yanta rudhani mayaya. Ishvara sarvabhutanam pradesharjuna tishtati. Ishvara, the Supreme Lord Krishna, as Rishikesha, he is sitting in everyone's heart as Paramatma, and he is guiding. This is confirmed in the Vedas and all the Upanishads, all the Vedic scriptures. Veda says that there is two birds sitting on a tree. These two birds, one is Krishna, another is living entity. These two birds are sitting in which tree? Within the heart of this body. Paramatma and Jivatma. Jivatma is eating the fruit, and Paramatma is simply becoming a witness. Anumana Upadrashta. Paramatma is seeing. Hrishikesha is seeing that you are doing this. We may forget what nuisance we have done in our previous lives. But Paramatma is there. He is a witness. We have to get a body according to our work. Karmana Taivanitrina. Whatever we are doing, whatever work we are doing, that is being witnessed by Paramatma. People may think, oh, I'm only person here. Nobody is watching. I can do anything. No. Whatever we are doing, that is watched by Krishna as Paramatma. Not only is just watching, actually, he is guiding us and is providing advice. Because we have forgotten Krishna, we have rebelled against Krishna, we wanted to act according to our whims. Just like a child, sometimes, he wanted to do things according to his whims. Father checks him. My dear child, do not do this. But if he likes, he persists. The child persists, no, I want to do this. I want to do this. He likes him. Then father, out of causeless mercy, says, all right, you do it. This is the position. Rishikesha Paramatma is always guiding us. But we do not act accept his guidance. That is a problem. This is the position of a conditioned soul. Arjuna has accepted Krishna that I shall be guided by you. Although you will not fight, I shall be guided by you. That's why he said here, Rishikesha, he is guiding Arjuna. Rishika means we discuss, right? Rishika means senses. Rishika, Isha. Isha means master, Lord. Rishikesha means master of senses. We find this in Bhagavad Gita. 11th chapter, it is said, Sarvata Pani Padham Tat. God has his hands and legs all over the universe. How? In fact, the hand we have is the extension of God's hand. And whatever the legs we have, it's actually extension of God's legs. He is the master. I may claim that, this is my hand. Imagine a situation, as soon as God withdraws the power of my hand, I cannot lift it. Hand becomes paralyzed, right? We cannot repair a paralyzed hand. Paralysis. So we can easily understand the real proprietor is Krishna. You are not the proprietor of your senses, but Krishna is the proprietor of your senses. You have been given the facility to use it. Use it for not for your sense gratification, but for the satisfaction of the Lord. If you use it, the senses, for the purpose it is given, then your life becomes perfect. Because everything belongs to Krishna. And the senses also belongs to Krishna. That's why he's called Hrishikesha, master of senses. See, just like, we're sitting in our home, right? Somebody has given us. It may be built by us, but ultimately, that is also comes from Krishna. See, we may call that, this house is built by me. That means, with my hard-earned money, I build this house. But see, actually, the house is made up of various material elements. All these material elements are given by Krishna. Material energy belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. This is actually self-realization. My body belongs to Krishna. My mind belongs to Krishna. My intelligence belongs to Krishna. I'm a spirit soul. As a spirit soul, I'm part and parcel of Krishna. So everything belongs to Krishna. Ishavasham idam sarvam. Everything belongs to God. Ishavasham idam sarvam. It's the first verse of Ishopanishad. Since everything belongs to Krishna, including our senses, our body, mind, intelligence, we as a spirit soul ourselves belongs to Krishna. If we don't use it, though everything belongs to Krishna, but I'm not using it for Krishna's service, that is called demonism. Demon means who wanted to use his senses for his own gratification. Suppose if If we don't want to use our senses and resources given by Krishna for the service of Krishna, that is a demoniac. But if we use it for Krishna, that is devotion. That's all. It's very simple. One must realize that everything belongs to Krishna. Nothing belongs to me. Even this body is given to me by Krishna. Krishna gives us different bodies according to our karma. Karmana daivanitrina jantur deho prapatyate. Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned. How we get a different types of bodies? How do you get different type of body? Because according to our past karma, we have created a certain type of body. Now we have entered into that body and working according to that past karma. Christian theologists, they don't believe in karma. Srila Prabhupada explains about this because Srila Prabhupada was studying in a Christian college, Scottish Church College. So Prabhupada explains in his young age, he used to have a professor. He mentions the professor's name also, some Burkhardt or something, some professor. He heard his lecture. He mentions that, Prabhupada mentions that his lecture, he understands that he doesn't believe in karma. He says that apparently his argument was, if I am enjoying or suffering for my past karma, who is the witness? His claim was, somebody could have been witnessed and some witness has to be there which I have done. Srila Prabhupada says, at the time when I was hearing that lecture, but I was not expert in Vedic sciences at the time, I was a child. As in, he's a college actually, maybe, but he's not expert in Vedic sciences. But now he explains that, see, the Hrishikesha, Paramatma is there, he's witnessing. Hrishikesha is a control of all your senses. He is the witness. Anumana upadrashta. Upadrashta. He's simply seeing and is a witness. So in Christianity, there is no idea of Paramatma. Sometimes they call it as, what is it called? That Holy Ghost. They don't have a clear idea, but in Vedic scriptures, there is a clearly explained Hrishikesha. So bhakti or devotional service is meant for satisfying the master of senses. Hrishikesha. Hrishikena Hrishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate. Chaitanya Charitamrita says this. Hrishikena, by your senses, when you serve the Hrishikesha, the master of senses, that is called bhakti. In fact, this is the definition of bhakti. Hrishikena Hrishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate. So we need to engage in service of Krishna, bhakti yoga. That is a real self-realization. Ishavasham idam sarvam. Everything belongs to Krishna. Nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to government. Nothing belongs to. This is a communism in the material world. Everything belongs to Krishna. Nothing belongs to us. This is a Bhagavata communism. Communists say, right? Everything belongs to the state. And Veda says, everything belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to God. A devotee never says that anything belongs to him. Everything belongs to Krishna is a Bhagavata communism. Since everything belongs to Krishna, one can utilize Krishna's property as much as he requires. But because we are all part and parcel of Krishna, as the children of Krishna, and everything belongs to Krishna, that means, our father's property. So we should not misuse it, or we should not acquire too much. We should use it to the extent it is required. Not more than that. If he uses more than what he requires, then he becomes a thief. A thief is, theft is a punishable offense. See, like a father's property, every child has a right to take part in father's property. Every child has a right to live with the father's protection. Magrada Kashasvidhanam. That is spiritual communism. Srila Prabhupada communicates this very nicely. Whatever wealth is there in the entire universe, all belongs to Krishna, all belongs to God. And we are the children of Krishna. We got right to take advantage of his wealth, but not more than what I require. That is spiritual communism. If you take more, then you become punishable. This is the law of nature. Our aim of life should be understanding this process and engaging ourselves in the service of Krishna. When do you do that? When you understand that everything that belongs to whatever I am possessing is also belongs to Krishna, to the extent my body belongs to Krishna, my senses belongs to Krishna, myself is part and parcel of Krishna. In reality, nothing belongs to us. This is a self-realization. We, out of ignorance, claim that, this body belongs to me, this person is my wife, this boy is my child, this girl is my daughter, and these two are my parents, and this is my house, this is my nation, and all this thing is coming out of the bodily concept of life. But reality is everything belongs to Krishna, including myself. This body is made of 5 gross elements, right? Bhumi, Rapo, Anilo, Vayu, earth, water, fire, air, and ether or sky. That is what this gross body is made up of. And there is a subtle body. Kammano, Buddhi, Revacha, mind, intelligence, and ego. These 8 elements, is the subtle body and gross body. Krishna says, Bhinnami Prakriti Darshadi. These 8 kind of Prakriti, they are my energy. Krishna is claiming, this is my energy. So this whole universe and this creation is actually Krishna's material energy. We are marginal energy of Krishna. So now we are put into this material energy because we wanted to enjoy this material world. The spiritual world, the only enjoyer is Krishna. In fact, either spiritual world or material world is the only enjoyer. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bhuktaram Yajnatapasa Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He says, I am the enjoyer. This is to be understood. The supreme enjoyer is Krishna. In fact, he is the enjoyer of my energy too. My energy is also derived from Krishna's energy. Just like master and servant, the master is paying so that the servant can have his food, all comforts and etc. So the servant is getting energy from master. Now we are getting the energy from Krishna, the master. And how to utilize that? We should not utilize it for our sense gratification, but utilize it for service of Krishna. That is a perfection of life. You produce anything by your energy, but you cannot use it for sense gratification. Then our life becomes sublime and perfect. So if you wanted to utilize all your energy for the service of Krishna, then Hishikesha, the master of the senses, will give us intelligence how to do it. Like, he's giving intelligence to Arjuna. He's giving Arjuna the intelligence, what he's supposed to do and what he's not supposed to do. That's why he's mentioned as Hishikesha in this verse. How to win, how to acquire the victory, how to utilize his energy for Krishna. Krishna wanted the battle. Arjuna was a military man. So he utilized his military strength for Krishna's purpose. That is the perfection of life. So whatever you have got, whatever you have, if you utilize it for Krishna's sake, Krishikena Krishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uttama. So it's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. If you utilize everything for Krishna's service, that is called bhakti. Even by fighting, you can be a great devotee. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna was not sitting under a tree and chanting the holy name day in and day out, or meditating or something. No. He's not chanting on beats, but he was fighting. But still, Bhaktoshi Priyoshimi. That's what Krishna says. Krishna says, oh, you are my greatest devotee. People may say that he was not chanting, he was fighting. How is that he become a great devotee? But Krishna says, Bhaktoshi Priyosimi, you are my dear friend, you are my dear devotee. Because you are utilizing your energy for me. Bhakti means you utilize your energy for Krishna. Whatever resources you possess. See, everybody has this body. That is also belongs to Krishna. Whatever possession you have, whatever is under your control, reality is that belongs to Krishna, that is under your control at this moment. And if you utilize those resources, including your body, mind, intelligence, in Krishna's service, so which is claimed as your energy, you use it in Krishna's service for Krishna's satisfaction, then your life is perfect. The way of utilization starts with Shavanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Engaging our senses, whatever you possess in Krishna's service starts with Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. And how to engage in Krishna's service, Srila Prabhupada has given in the form of regulative principles. By following those regulative principles, actually you are engaging in Krishna's service. What are those 4 regulative principles? Chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Maha Mantra has to be chanted every day, 16 rounds sincerely. Only take Krishna Prasadam, nothing else. Anything you eat, that must be Krishna Prasadam. That is not so difficult. Anyway, you are cooking it or eating it, but you cook it for Krishna's sake and offer it to Krishna and just partake in prasadam. What is the difficulty in that? Associate with the devotees and praise the Lord and read Vedic scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and discuss on that and analyze on that. Talk about it. Glorify Krishna's pastimes. None of them are too difficult to do. We may just have to streamline our life, little bit adjustments here and there. We can become a devotee of Krishna. It's very easy to do that. We need to have the determination to become Krishna. We can become a devotee of Krishna. And consider that as an essence of this particular verse. Here we can stop discussing. Any questions, comments, or corrections, Matajis and Prabhujis? If nobody has any questions or comments, we can close our session here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Harinama Sankirtan ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Samovahita Bhakta Vrind ki Jai. Kantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Thank you very much, Matajis and Prabhudis. You have given me opportunity to speak from Srila Prabhupada's books. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari Bol.